Hi students, welcome to Plus One Computer class. So we know we completed our chapter Introduction to C++ Programming. Okay, so that section is over and also we revised that chapter. The important questions coming from that chapter also we discussed in the previous video. Okay, so we already revised the text back question and also the important questions coming from that chapter. Okay, so we completed the chapter Introduction to C++ Programming. So in that chapter we learned about the different tokens in C++. Okay, what does mean by tokens? The fundamental building blocks of a C++ program is known as token, and also the various tokens that we are using in C++ programming, that also we discussed in the chapter. Okay, so in this video we are going to begin our new chapter, data types and operator. That's our chapter name, data types and operator. So in this section I am going to start a new, that means the topic called data types. So classification of data type. Data types can be classified into two categories. The classification of data type. Along with the classification of data type, we are going to discuss the different, that means description of that data type. What are the fundamental data type, user defined data type, and also fundamental data type, user defined data type, and one more data type is there, that is known as derived data type. So the classification we will discuss first, and after that all the fundamental data types we will discuss. Okay, what are the fundamental data types of C++ programming? Okay, clear? So can we start? Yes. Actually in C++ there are different types of data types are available. Then why we require data types in C++ programming? You know, computer has no IQ. Computer is an electromechanical device. So it works based on the electricity. Okay, according to the electricity passed to that device, it is working. Normally it specifies on stage and off stage. That's why it is known as electromechanical operator or electromechanical machine. It uses electricity to process data. Then, you know, computer only understood binary language. So whichever information we are giving to computer is translating into machine level language first, and then it is ready for processing. That we already know. So when we are inserting any kinds of data into the computer, first it will save into any of the memory location. Okay, so different kinds of data that we are submitting or we are giving to computer memory. It may be integer data, that means numbers we can give, then character we can give, and also we discussed about string literal, operator, special symbol. So different terminologies that we are using in computer, because in C++ consists of a character set. C++ consists of a character set. Character consists of alphabets. Okay, it consists of alphabets. That means it may be alphabet, small letter, capital letter, or it may be a word or sentence or sequence of character, whatever it is. Computer want to save all that data into a particular storage device. So while storing, computer want to identify the amount of data or the amount of memory required for that particular type of data. If it is number, it requires only, if it is a single digit number, then it requires only that much space. If it is a sequence of character, then each character we are storing separately. So that means it requires some kinds of storage measurement when we are adding data into computer. So before entering or before inserting data into the computer, the compiler or the computer want to identify the type, which type of data that we are giving to the computer. Which type of data? Okay, which type of data that we are giving to the computer. It may be digit, or it may be alphabet, or it may be a word or sentence. So all the literals that we already seen in the previous video, integer literal, floating point literal, character literal, and also string literal. Okay, data may be different types, so we want to identify the type of data first. Okay, so here in C++ we are using a term called data types. Okay, what is it? Data types. Data types specify the type of data that we are using in computer programming. Which type of data that we are using in computer. Okay, then according to the type of data, data types are classified into three categories. Okay, data types are classified into three categories. Data types are classified into three categories. First one is user defined data types. User defined data type, then fundamental data types, fundamental data type, and next one is derived data types. Okay, so data types are classified into three categories: user defined data type, fundamental data type, and derived data type. So here user defined and also derived data type is not in this chapter. Here we are focusing about fundamental. Fundamental, the name indicate basic data type for C++ programming. Basic type of data. We are starting, we don't know program, so we are beginning the program. So when we are going to write programming, we are not going to start from the top level. Okay, we are starting from the bottom level. So basic things we will discuss first. Then after that we will go for the top level. Okay. Then next one, again fundamental data type, again classified into two categories. First one is integral, and second category is floating point data type. Okay, again fundamental data type are classified into integral data type and floating point data type. Then one more data type is present that is not belonging to these two categories, that is void. Okay, what is it? Void. Then floating point data type means floating point data type specify that means it is not that much basic, some extra data also that we are using. So integral data type examples are char, C-H-A-R, char and int. Char and int. Floating point data type are float and double. Float and double. So this is the classification of data types in C++. Our chapter name is data types and operator. So here first we will discuss the classification of data type. I already mentioned why we need data type. When we are entering any type of data into the computer want to identify the type of data. Which type of data that we are submitting to computer memory or we are giving to the computer. So that you want to identify first. So identifying the type of data we are using data types. Data types also keywords. Here char, float, int, double, these all are belonging to keywords category. Okay, when we write int, then computer will automatically identify it is an integer variable. Okay, so data types are classified into three categories. First one is user defined data type, second one fundamental data type, and third one is derived data type. So what is the first classification? User defined. User is defining the type of data. Second one is fundamental data type. So in this chapter we are going to discuss all the fundamental data types of C++. Then after that derived data type. Okay, so this is a classification. Then fundamental data type again classified into two categories. Integral data type and floating point data type. Integral and floating point. Here integral again classified or example for integral data type is char and int. Then fundamental data type, one more example is there, that is called void, and last one is floating point. Floating point, here it is float and double. Okay, float and double belonging to fundamental data type category. Floating point number and also double. Clear? So this is the classification of data type. Classification of data types. Okay, what are the different classification? Data types again classified into three categories: user defined, fundamental and derived data type. Fundamental data type examples are char, int, void, float and double. Okay, that we will discuss later. Okay, so this is the classification. Same picture is present in your notebook, that a textbook that you want to copy in your notebook. Then we will discuss what is mean by user defined data type and what is mean by fundamental and what is mean by derived data type. So here fundamental data types are atomic in nature that we can't further decompose. Okay, these are basic data type that we can't decompose. Okay, because this is a basic. Using this fundamental data type we can create derived and user defined data type. So this is the basic data type of C++, fundamental data type. They are atomic in nature. Nobody can decompose it into smaller grades. Examples for fundamental data types are int for representing integer number. Second one, char for representing character constants. Character constants or alphabets. Next one is float. Float for representing fractional number. And one more is a double. And void. These are the examples for fundamental data type. First one is int for representing integer number. Second one is char for representing character variable. Third one is float for representing fractional numbers. And last fourth one is double for representing double. That means large precision of floating point numbers. For example, if we are performing mathematical calculation, then we will get large number. That means we will get a number with large number of fractional part will be there. So that kinds of number, if the fractional part is more than 8 or 8 digit, then we can use double instead of float. And next one is void for representing empty values. Void is used for representing empty values. Okay, so these are the examples for fundamental data type: int, char, float, double and void. Then next one is derived data types. Derived data type that means derived data type is constructed using fundamental data type. Clear? Derived data type is constructed using fundamental data type. If one or more variable we want to represent, then we can use derived data type. Example, array and pointer. Okay, you want to remember the examples, array and pointer. Here, the first example array we will discuss in the second volume textbook. What is meant by array? Array is used for storing one or more elements, okay, belonging to the same type of data. Okay, for collecting one or more elements we are using array. Pointers we will discuss in the +2 section. +2 first chapter is pointer and structures and pointers. Okay, so derived data type is created or constructed using fundamental data type. Example for derived data types are array and pointers. Clear? Array and pointers. Then third one is user defined data type. The name indicates user defined data type. User defined data type means the user is defining the type of data. Okay, it is not belonging to compiler derived category. According to the user's choice, user is creating some kind of data. That is known as user defined data type. Examples are struct, structure and enumeration or enum. Okay, example for user defined data types are structure and enumeration. Enumeration or short form is the enum. Clear? So these are the classification of data types in C++. C++ data types are classified into three categories: derived data type, fundamental data type, and user-defined data type. Fundamental data type belonging to basic data type category. Examples are int, char, float, double, and void. Derived data type example array and pointer. Then user-defined data type example structure and enumeration. Structure or enum. Clear? So these are the different data types of C++. So user-defined and derived we will discuss later. Now we are going to discuss about fundamental data types of C++. Clear? Fundamental data types of C++. Okay, so all that example we are going to discuss now. Fundamental data types. Fundamental data types. Fundamental data types. Okay, fundamental data types or basic data types. So the first fundamental data type is int. Okay, first fundamental data type is int. Int is a keyword. Clear? Int is a keyword. Actually, int used for representing integer value. So if you write int x, we can write like this. Int x. Okay, x without single quote. Then it will be treated as a variable. So if we write int x, then automatically the compiler will identify x as integer variable. X as integer variable. Then how, why the compiler is identifying this as integer variable? For memory allocation. For what purpose? Memory allocation. Compiler will identify the type of data first, then according to the type of data, it will allocate memory to that particular variable. If the variable is integer, and it will allocate 4 bytes of memory for that variable. Okay, 4 bytes of memory. So int or int data type is used to store integer variable. Int data type is used to store integer variable, and integer variable require 4 bytes of memory for allocating an integer number. Okay, it requires 4 bytes of memory. So maximum 8-digit number we can represent using integer number. So if the number is increasing or the number of digit is increasing, we can't use integer because size will not fit in that particular memory. So we require a new type of data. Okay, if the number of data or the number of digit is more than int size or more than 8, okay, then we can use another kind of category. One more is using integer we can only represent integer number, not fractional number. Okay, fractional number we can't represent using data type int. Okay, for representing fractional number we are using another type of data that is known as float. Okay, what is another type of data? Float. Float is used to represent fractional numbers. The data type float is used to represent fractional number, and also it requires 4 bytes of memory. When the compiler encounters a fractional number, it will allocate 4 bytes of memory for that particular variable. Then you know, normally for representing fractional number we are using Mandisa and exponent format. So the memory allocation is different from integer. Okay, memory allocation is different from integer. Fractional number want to represent or allocate exponent and Mandisa separately. So the representation will be different than integer number. So if the number is fractional number, then it will be arranged in exponent and Mandisa format, and it require 4 bytes of memory. Clear? It require 4 bytes of memory. Then if the fractional number is bigger than 4 bytes, okay, if the fractional number is bigger than 4 bytes, that means it is a large number of digits are present, then instead of float, we can use extended version of float. That is known as double. Okay, it is known as double. Double means we can represent or using double, if the number is double, then compiler is allocating 8 bytes of memory for representing or for storing number, a double number. So if you think if the number, that means the answer should be greater than float size, then we can use double as its data type. Then the amount of bytes or the number of bytes used for storing double is 8 bytes. Then, so these are belonging to number category. If the number is small, then we can use integer number. If the number is a fractional number, then we can use data type float. If the number is a large range of fractional number, then we can use double. So the number of bytes is very, very important. Int require 4 bytes, float 4 and double 8 bytes. Double of float. Okay, then so these all are used to representing numbers. Okay, these all are used for representing numbers. Suppose you want to represent characters in computer memory like alphabets, sequence of alphabets and all, then we can use another data type that is known as char. What is its data type name? Char. Char for representing character. For representing character or alphabet, we are using the data type called char data type. Char data type uses 1 bytes of memory. Okay, what is it? 1 bytes of memory. 1 bytes means each character require 1 byte. If it is a sequence of character, then according to the character, you want to specify the size. Okay, so for representing character or for representing character in computer memory or alphabets in computer memory, we are using a data type called char data type, and it requires 1 bytes of memory for storing the type of data. Then last one, 1 byte. Last one is char 1 byte and last one is void. What is the last type of data? That is void. Void for representing empty data. Okay, for what we are using void? For representing empty data type. Clear? Empty data type we are using void. Clear? For representing empty type of data, that we are using void. I think it is clear. So these are the 5 fundamental data types of C++. First one is int for representing integer. Second one, float for representing fractional number. Double, it's also used for representing large precision number. Then both fractional number and also integer we can use in double. Then char for representing character number, and last one is void. So these are the fundamental data types of C++. Fundamental data types of C++. Very, very important fundamental data type along with their size. Then next one more term is that is known as type modifier. Very, very important question. Type modifier. Using type modifier, we can alter the size of data types. We can alter the data type size. That is known as type modifiers. Okay, type modifier examples are short, long, then signed, unsigned. These are the commonly used type modifier. Okay, with the help of an example, I will explain the difference between type modifier. Okay, so please look at the picture that I am going to show. Please look at the picture. In that picture, first one, char. For it is used for representing character variable and the size is 1 byte. Then 128 to 127 we can represent unsigned. Please look at the unsigned. For representing just higher than character we are using unsigned. Then next one, short int. Okay, what is the type of memory required for integer is 4 bytes. But for short int, we are shortening the type. If the number is very small, that we know. If it is 1 and 2 digit number, then you don't want to use integer. We can save the memory space. So instead of int, we can give short int. Then look at the type size of the short int. What is its size? 2. Then second one, long, normally used int, but will be its data type 4 byte. Then long int, long integer, second type modifier is long. Okay, that means again we are altering or we are increasing the size of int. Then automatically the size will be 4 byte, but we can represent 10. Okay, you can find out the range. Okay, 10 to, that means 10 digit number we can represent, but if it is signed and also unsigned, then also we can increase its size. Then float. Float means 4 bytes of memory. Then double, again 8 bytes of memory. Then long double. What is the speciality of long double? Using long double, we can represent 12 bytes of memory. Okay, how many bytes? 12 bytes of memory. So that means if the number is very long or very large in size, then you don't want to use double. We can use long double. Long double means it is very bigger, so we can represent huge amount of number or huge number into that particular data type. Okay, so these are the commonly used type modifier. These type modifiers are used to alter the size of the data. So used to alter the size of data. Okay, so again we will revise the topics that we studied from this section. Okay, which are the topics that we studied? Introduction to the chapter, data types and operator. What is mean by data type? What is the significance of data types in program execution step? And also we discuss the classification of data type. Classification of data type. Data types can be classified into 3 categories: derived data type, fundamental data type and user defined data type. Then all the examples also we discussed. Fundamental data type examples are int, char, float, double and void. And also we discussed the various type modifiers that we are using in programming. Long, int, short. These all are the commonly used type modifiers. Signed and also unsigned int. Clear? Then you want to write one question in your homework. Explain the classification of data types in C++. Explain the classification of data types in C++. So you want to draw the figure first. Then after that, what is mean by user defined data type, what is derived data type and what is fundamental data type along with example. Okay, you can expect this question as essay question. So the figure is very important. Figure you want to draw in your notebook first. After that you want to explain. Okay, clear? So hope you understood. The remaining sections we will discuss in the next video.